You know what I
Right.
mean? The little
Exactly.
girls go, "Oh my god!" You know, so it's like you give people moments where they like never gonna forget ever again. You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than just a smile. You give people an emotional moment. It's like music. You know, when you hear music and it brings you back to that moment, you
Right.
kind of like do that for people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, oh shit, I remember when. Oh, that's Devonte. You can never forget Devonte. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because you did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. All right, it's a
I'm
lot of
grateful
that.
for it.
Before we get crazy and we get deep into Devontae's story and we get crazy, you know, we got to talk a little bit about cannabis, and I want to know about young Devonte when he first started to get high. Not when you first started. Give me your first experience of getting high. Was it a joint? Was it a blunt? Was it with Pop Dukes? Was it with, I don't know, your friends? What was it? You know what I mean? Give me everything. Was it mute? What was the music? What was it? Give me.
I was around weed at a young age. I remember the first time it got presented to me was like, little kid was like, yo, like we finna cut school, smoke some weed. I was like 12, maybe 13 years old. The kid, he was like, he wasn't really nobody that I could look up to. So I was like, I don't know if I really want to smoke with this kid. Like, so I'm like, I'm good on it. Second time it happened, I remember I was in a situation. Don't ask me what. I'm 16 years old. Dude got a gun in his lap. I don't know what I'm doing in this room, but he's like, you gonna smoke? You smoke? And then the dude right before me, I don't know what he did, but he said, you gonna smoke? And he like pulled up the gun. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going
like
on?
now
right
I got no choice. Yeah,
so,
sure.
So luckily he got a phone call and the whole thing, and I was just out of there. So I didn't even have time to smoke. I didn't smoke at 16. At 18, at this point, you know, my friends sold it and moved it, but you know, at least I remember I had one, let's say, older dude in the street that would always look at it like the work and was just always trying to keep me off of it. When I went to LA for the first time, I'm like 19 years old off of this documentary they were filming on me, and I got to see the first person that was like something. He was like a lawyer, he was a producer to the movie, he had put money in, he had this big ass mansion, and he had weed, and I was like, wait, what? Like, people like him could smoke weed. I used to just these people in my mind growing up came up, and I was like, nah, you could be something and smoke. I was like, I want to be like this guy, like smoke and have it together. So it really was like 19 or something like that that I ended up smoking like that.
What was it, like a joint?
Joint.
It was a joint in LA.
And I'll tell you the real story. It wasn't in LA actually. So I saw the Duke. Boom. I came back to New York, and the first time that I really smoked was I was with somebody who they never smoked, and I'm like, yo, let me get some weed. I didn't get high. I didn't feel nothing. I tell my cousin, I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. I smoke with these. And he's like, you smoke with people don't know. What he tells me, he says, let's go to Washington Heights. And let's get some, I swear to God, that's what he said. He said, let's go to Washington Heights, get some Washington Haze. That's exactly what we did. We got in the car. It was in Brooklyn. Went all the way out to the Heights. We got some Washington Haze. We went right back. It was in Queens at one of my boys' crib. Went in, rolled up a blunt. It must have been a blunt. I don't think we were smoking even Jay's, to be honest with you. We'd have definitely been smoking like a blunt. And then my cousin rolled it up. And I remember the cipher went around. Remember, I'm thinking the first time I didn't feel nothing. It goes around once, I smoke it, I don't feel nothing. The second time it's going around, I'm talking shit at this point. I'm like, man, this one don't hit as well. As it's coming to me and I go to grab it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucking high. And then that was my high story.
There's your high story. All right, man. You came uptown. I like that. I appreciate the uptown story real quick. Yeah. I'll take that.
Back then, that's where everybody had to end up to go get some fire weed back then.
Everybody. All right. So then, So your first time getting high, I'll take it. I guess let's take it further back, right? Because you are who you are. This is who we came to talk about, right? Give me like the first time. I guess this is a two-part question. Give me the first time that you said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna be like this is what I want to do. I want to do tricks. I want to do cards. I want to do magic. I want to amaze people." And what was the first trick you learned?
You know, a lot of kids get into magic. A lot of kids, no, it is because you know when you get into magic as a kid, you see it. You know, everybody responds to it differently. For me, as a young kid, I already knew even before I really saw official magicians. I already knew I wanted to do something like that, like do the impossible. Let's say when I saw a magician, it was the first thing that I vibrated with. That I was like, all right, this makes sense. And most 9-year-olds do. Difference with me and most 9-year-olds, you know, you kind of learn your first trick. For me, my first trick was. You know, there is a blur now because I don't know if I probably learned 3 tricks at once, but like the 3 first ones were I learned how to turn like a silk, like a red silk to a blue silk. I learned how to like, you know, do like the coloring book, you know, go from a blank coloring book to like putting colors in it. And these are all tricks you buy in a magic store. These are, you know, at an 8-year-old, 9-year-old level, you're buying a trick that, you know, you get taught how to do it. And it just teaches you how to be in front of people, how to basically manage this trick, but really create something out of it. Not just, you know, not just present it and be like, here, take it. But really trying to get a reaction from people. So that was my first brush against magic. But really when it gets deeper is when I start finding like a magic shop, which is basically a store, you know, where magicians go and buy their magic tricks. But if you stay, you realize there's magicians that take this stuff way more serious. They're the ones hanging out in the back. You know, guys like David Blaine and David Copperfield were coming out and meeting in the back. And now you're like, oh, wait, this is like a whole other world, more than your little, you know, color changing trick. You know what I mean? And then that's when I went down the rabbit hole. And you start learning card tricks and sleight of hand, and you get a little deeper down the line, and you start learning more psychological effects. You go deeper down the line, and you know, and so hypnosis and things like that.
Wow. All right. This is like a whole secret society. Don't come after us. We ain't do nothing.
But at the age of 9, for sure, was already.
Devonte, I'm a firm believer that the things we go through make us who we are. So, you know, everybody, you know, sees the results now of, you know, who you are, what you do, how you know, amaze and, you know, boggle these celebrities and everywhere you go and all this stuff. But what was the journey before you found out that this is what you want to do? Like, where did you grow up in the city? Take us through like Devonte's journey personally to, you know, to how it started to get to that point. You know what I mean? Because I'm a firm believer that, you know, the journey is what, you know, gets us to find these purposes and passions.
Absolutely. Everybody has their story. Everybody has a unique story. Mine is different than any other magician that I really heard of. Other than that Houdini also resided in Brooklyn, ended up being buried in Brooklyn. But I grew up in Brooklyn, Bushwick part of Brooklyn, in the 90s, late 80s, 90s. And I didn't grow up seeing magicians. I grew up, you know, in
Brooklyn.
That's not what we're seeing in the
ain't no magicians in Brooklyn.
you know, for me, the closest thing I'd ever seen to magic before, let's say, was like the magicians on the trains. That's what I had seen. You know what I mean? There was a dude that used to be on the train station. He used to blow a bubble, and he used to grab the bubble, and it was like a solid marble or whatever. And, you know, and this, to me, it was mind-blowing, but why was he in a subway? You know what I mean? Why was this man that was doing this incredible thing seemingly asking for tips and stuff? And so I started to put, you know, where I come from and what I wanted to do in life, which is, you know, like all of us, get out of there, get my mom right, get my family right. And but I had this passion, and so, you know, my story is really a story of sort of taking my identity, but taking control of my identity and not becoming a product of my identity, or that identity that I grew up around.
Definitely,
yeah. 80s and the 90s in Brooklyn wasn't that nice. How it is right now.
That was a spicy time in New York City.
Facts. A lot of different other kind of magicians came out of that place too. We don't call them magicians, you know, but they made other kind of things disappear. People disappear, you know.
Oh man.
So what do you think, Devonte? You, like I said,
nice.
Being around from when we first met you, like we were talking about before the podcast started, like 2018, which was like, I would like to say, like the beginning of this cannabis renaissance here in New York City. You know, you were there to like what it's become now, you know, from you seeing then, like, you know, when you used to come to our events and lounge and like, you know, when it was like still taboo, still in the closet, to like what it is now in New York. Is the only place in the world where you can smoke anywhere that you can smoke cigarettes. You know, it's like a big transition.
It seemed like it happened overnight. If anybody that knows, it definitely wasn't overnight. There was a time where, you know, when I heard about you guys, it seemed like, you know, like Willy Wonka in the factory. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like, what are you talking about? Chandeliers and couches that you could smoke weed, and there's underground, and there's a whole dispensary inside, like a dispensary for people in New York. What do you mean a dispensary? We knew about, you know, the parties and not the party. Yeah, like the, you know, like the what they do now, even the sessions and stuff. Yeah. But it was what you would love to have happen, but no business would have ever dared to invest or make it worth you know, that professional. So when I first showed up, just as a, I want to say, the first time, was I hired? Yeah, that's the first time.
Well, we met, I would say we met through Rose.
Black Rose, yes.
Met through Black Rose.
That's right. But I had never been there, I don't think.
No.
I think I had heard about it. Again, it was like, really, it was like, and then when I got asked to perform there, I was like, man, hell yeah. And, you know, because I already smoked. So for me, it was just like, you know, it's two things that I love. So why not? And then it was your birthday.
Yeah, he fucked my life up.
You had pajama. It was like a pajama party.
Yeah, we had look, we had a pajama party, Jordan. Did you know that? I mean, we had a pajama party, and we had grown people come out in pajamas. All right, and he came and did some tricks, you know, and he fucked everybody's head up, man. And it was great. It was like, it was good money after that, and then after that, it was just like love. Like that's it. It was just like, you know, people wanted to know him. People wanted, yo, who's Devonte? Yo, can you connect me to him? Hell yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, and in love ever since.
That's when I learned, like, you know, the difference of, like, you know, like you said, like typical magician into a mentalist, because, like, you know, people were doing magic stuff. Like, we even had other people that came to, like,